One. Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's a new day. It's a fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking, and baking. I always say that all the guests on the Powerful podcast are fascinating individuals. And today, I have an amazing woman, Michelle Raymond. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm very good indeed. I'm looking forward to our discussion.
You're very big on LinkedIn, very big on the internet. So I'll allow you to do your own mini intro. Tell us a bit about you. I know that you're a leadership coach, you're a
Mhm,
transformational coach. You've got a background in NLP.
mhm.
You've shuttled between two cities, London and Dubai. So yeah, like
Yeah.
we say in Nigeria, you're a big madam.
Hey! I'll humbly take that. So
Yes.
yes, I do leadership training and coaching, and I've been doing that and in that space, I would say, for about 15 years. And part of
Wow.
that is my 25 years in human resources. So I've always worked with corporates, I've always worked with leaders, always worked with companies that are forward thinking and want to do better with their staff. So that's my background. And yes, I did my qualifications in neuro linguistic programming. So I'm actually a master NLP. So I did the next level up so that I can teach it and I can utilize it in my training and coaching sessions. What else can I add to? What other strings can I add? I also sit on the board of Lloyds Bank Black Advisory Board, and that's making sure that the board are doing what they say they are going to do
Mm.
around DE&I and working with underrepresented companies. So, in terms of my own business is called the People's Partner, which is a HR and coaching consultancy. Fundamentally, we go out to different companies all over the world. So we've just done Rwanda in back in like a few months ago. Now we're in Dubai. We do London, UK, and the USA. And we just literally deliver our leadership. We've got a leadership framework to
Hmm.
help companies with cultural intelligence, cultural intelligence, inclusion, and AI. And because of that, um, I found a gap to work with entrepreneurs who want to get into corporates. And so that's where a lot of people see me say, do you want to get into corporates? I run masterclasses and masterminds on that. And hence why we created the Diverse Business Summit in London. We're doing the Diverse Business and Tech Summit in Dubai. And I'm also a co founder of a tech platform called Texoma ME, which stands for Middle East, and findexperts.me, which is based out in the Middle East. Yeah, that's me.
Well, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. All right. So, Michelle, in what way has personal branding helped elevate your success, your visibility, and the opportunities that have come your way?
I would say a great percent. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 80%.
Wow.
Personal branding is so crucial. And if I was to speak about being in the UK and being in Dubai, equally as important. Because before people buy your products and buy your services, they're buying you. So
That's
you have
right.
to make sure you have a brand, a strong brand, and a credible brand. Because many people have personal brands, but the personal brand is it's weak or it's not favorable. You have a bad reputation. So reputation is very important. How other people see you, how other people introduce you, and it all depends on how credible and authentic your brand is will impact how people refer you to others. So, for
Mhm.
example, the whole game of business is all around referrals, who you know and who knows you. Now, if you don't have a strong, credible brand, people will not be able to refer you work, or when they're speaking to other people, they won't be able to bring your name in the room because they don't know what you do. They don't know how you do it. They don't know how well you do it. So you need to make sure that on offline and online platforms that it's consistent and it's credible and it's strong, because this is in business, it's all about who you know and who knows you. So you want to really create a credible brand that stands the test of time. And that's really what
Fantastic.
stands for.
Great, great. From your work and your experience working with corporate from Lloyd's Bank to everything in between and working with entrepreneurs, right? What are some of the critical skills that an entrepreneur needs right now to win in today's economy?
I would say critical skill. So there's two that comes to mind. And as you know, the big thing now is AI, is how to
Yeah.
utilize AI. I heard a quote that said, AI is not going to take your job, but your job will be taken by someone who knows how to use AI. So you just need, you cannot be living in this world, in this parallel universe and say, I'm not going to touch it, I don't like it. You don't need to be a coder. You just need to know how to utilize it to further your business or whatever. So that's the one of the most critical things is how to use AI, how to embrace it in business for growth and scale. But the second thing is, if I go back to what I spoke to about earlier, is your network. I think for 2025 and beyond, the capital that's going to make a difference is your social capital. Your social capital. And it's about your network. And when we say our network is our net worth, we say it so flippantly. But if you really look into it, your network is essentially your net worth. You can tell how much people make or where they're going in life depending on the people that they are surrounding themselves with. And when I'm talking about your network, we're not just talking about people, your authors that you've never met or speakers that you've never met. I'm talking about people that feed into your life, people that make a difference to your well-being, people that are your green lighters that open the door for you. This is your network. And if you were to really do a survey of the people that you talk to the most, the people that are in your phone book, that you dial, that you WhatsApp, this is your network. And I have been strategic in growing mine over a number of years. So I put them into categories. So if I were to put them into categories, and this is I learned from my pastor, who's also a mentor to me. He said people should be into three categories: the need, the feed, and the lead. That's your network. So the need. So let me see if I can remember this here, Paul. So the
Really,
need.
really good.
So the need are people that hold on. Yeah, so hold on. Let's do need and feed. Okay. Need. So these are people that need you. These are
That's
people
right.
that you sow into. So you have a network of people that you could be the coach for, or you sow into their lives in some capacity. They need you. So a percentage of your network should be that. A second percentage should be people that feed. Yeah. So these are people that feed into you, but they're not necessarily have to be business people. They are people that you can just Netflix and chill with, that you can have some downtime with, that you can be your authentic self with. We need that percentage. But the biggest percentage is the people that lead you. So we've got the need, we've got the feed, and the lead. Now, these are your green lighters. These are people that will open the door for you. These are people that have the gravitas to bring your name in the room. Because a lot of us have good networks, but they have no gravitas. So they can't bring your name in the room. It won't make a difference because they're not credible enough. They don't have the gravitas enough to make change. But when you're around a percentage of people that can lead you, they have the gravitas, they have the credibility, they have the strength to bring your name in the room, and something can be done. Those are the people that make a fundamental difference to your business. And I have been strategic in trying to carve that out to make sure I have people that I sow into, people that we can just chill out with. They don't need to know my business. They don't need to buy my products or my services. But then I also have the people who are going to push me, and they'll propel my business because they are that type of person. That's how our network's going to grow our business.
I like that. I like that. So there is the need, the people that need you, the people that feed you, or you feed really,
Yeah.
and then the people that lead you. So
Yes.
powerful three mental models. All right. So still on that theme of the lead, feed, and lead and need, right? how do people locate the people that need them? I tell people all the time that they should attend events. They should shake hands with people, because there are two types of luck. There is the biological luck. If you are a daughter or a son of a very wealthy person, that's the luck by biology. In fact, Warren Buffett said that he won the ovarian lottery because he was born in America.
I love that. Yes, yes. Perfect. The ovarian lottery. I love that.
But then there is also the event luck. For example, Michelle, I've never met you before. I just sent you a DM.
Yes.
And there was a conversation in my head that says that this lady may tell me no. I said to myself, what's the downside of this DM? She will say no. But what's the upside? She may say a yes. So
And shall I
by
tell you
taking
why I
that,
said yes?
great. And
Your
by taking
network.
that action, yes,
Your network made
that's
me
created
say
that
yes.
luck. Great, great, yes. So in what way can people strategically begin to build this lead network?
I love that. I love that. So and you make a really good point in terms of like sending me the DM and asking me would I come on the podcast. And the reason why I did, because I looked at your network to see if there's anyone that I knew, to see if there's anybody who's been on your podcast is of a particular status or credibility within society. And I saw Dan Moses, who I know really well, and we live practically next door to each other, right? So, and because I hold him in high esteem, if he's been on your show and you've been to his events, I've been to his events, I thought, okay, we're in good people. That's how you can measure, whether you should say yes to something or no to something. And to find people that lead you make a great point. You have to go to events, and you need to go to events. And I'm going to say this because I talk a lot around culture. You need to go to events which are outside your culture zone.
I like that.
We navigate and go to events, or gravitate, I should say, to events where there's going to be people that look like us, people that speak like us, people that act like us, because we feel comfortable around familiarity, and that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But where you're going to really grow and stretch you and challenge you is to be in events where you are the only one, where we are less in number. We're less in number when it comes to people that are similar to us in culture. And when you sitting there, now you are the special one because they want to find out more about you. And so they're now intrigued, they're interested. And then you have an opportunity to share wider than your own culture. You're able to now bring other people in, and they tend to, they like difference, they like change. And you're the difference and you're the change. So this is where you can get into conversations and be in rooms with people who are so unlike you, and you build a level of commonality. So I'll give you an example. So I am out here in Dubai, and it's very easy for me to, for someone to come over from England and I just go to their events because I know them and they're British and we've got something in common. But I'm pushing the boundaries. I'm going to events where it may be run mainly by Emiratis. As long as they speak in English and I can understand, I want to be in the room. I've then started making sure that I'm embracing the new culture. So I would wear abayas. I would dress modestly so that not to offend. So I want to be part of the culture. So I went to an event, and I did exactly that. I was speaking to somebody and I said, I'm really interested in getting leadership contracts in Saudi Arabia. Would you believe this person said, oh my God, this is so great. I can definitely help you on this. And I love your style and I said, I want you to do your due diligence. So don't just take my word for it. I want you to check me out. And when I say that, I'm giving them peace of mind, because I'm not trying to say, oh my God, don't look at my social media, don't look at my website or anything I've done, because I can stand firm knowing that I've walked the walk and I've talked the talk. So while we were there, he checked my LinkedIn, checked social media and my website and just other things I've done. And he said, brilliant. I would love to introduce you to somebody who may be looking for leadership training in their company. This is what it took. And he's from Saudi Arabia and he's a physician. Yeah, so he's a medical doctor. So nothing to do with what I do, but yet he was willing to open up his black book for me. Why? Because A, I attended the event. B, I
That's
was
right.
brave enough and courageous enough to step to him and talk to him. Because I could just stay in the corner and think, oh my God, I don't know anyone here. But I took the courage to talk to him, and look where it's led to. So let's see where it leads to.
Very, 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 very powerful. I mean, I once saw recently your story or your Instagram. You said you were going to a different kind of church.
Yeah, yes, I did. And it was very different.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. All right, Michelle, in your own opinion, what is leadership?
Leadership is impact. Impact. And that's the one word that just comes to me every time I think about leadership and I teach leadership is, can you impact others and impact them for a positive change? Because there's different types of leaders, as we know. And I do lots of work around the different types of leadership styles. But the true leaders are the ones that can transform people to do better and to be better. And so, and in my walk of leadership, I always have to think, before I can lead others, can I lead myself? Am I doing it myself before I can get anybody else to do it? And I wrestle with that, because it's so easy. There's some people, they're very good at telling others, but they can't do it themselves. And I don't want to be that type of leader. I want to be authentic.
Yeah.
They're so good at all of this. But I want to be the type of leader that I want you to do as I say, and I can do the same thing as well. So I always challenge myself. What am I struggling with today, or where have I got issues, and let me deal with that head on. So then when I'm going onto social media and I'm telling people to do this, I'm giving them words of advice and tips, I can say it with authenticity because I'm challenging myself daily. And it is a challenge daily, and it's about impact. And I put a post out, I think, on Facebook a few years ago, and I said to them, when you think of Michelle, what comes to mind? And I
Great
said, just
question.
give me the first things. So when you see my name pop up on a screen, if you see my number dialed and you've got to answer it, what conjures up in your mind? And it was just so refreshing to see some of the things I had. It said impact, it said inspirational, it said motivational, helpful, support, challenging. And these are all the things that a leader should be. And I was grateful and humbled by that. And it's a good testament that I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to always get it right, but
Great.
I'm doing the right thing. Definitely.
I like that. I like that. I mean, this is a hack that you just brought out. For everybody listening to this episode, if you're a leader in your company, I want you to do this exercise that Michelle just taught us now. You know what? Tell every member of your team, tell them to stay anonymous.
Yes.
Write a text or whatever. Say, when you hear my name, let's say you're the manager of the team, what comes to your mind? Honest leadership. Now, when you hear a particular word, you begin to see a pattern. That's your personal brand.
Yes.
And if they BS a lot of the things about your name as well, then you've got work to do to correct that. All right? Michelle, when do you sell? When do you sell your service? Because it is an issue. People talk about that as a personal brand, as a leadership coach. You don't want to come out to be salesy, but you know that if you don't sell, you don't deliver on the gifts that God has given to you. So at what point does Michelle sell? And what is sales to you?
I sell all the time. Paul, I sell all
I
of
like
the
that.
time. All of the time. And if we talk about personal branding, your personal brand should be selling you all the time. So every time I walk in a room, every time I talk to somebody, every time I'm in conversation, I am selling, because I'm selling myself first. So they'll either buy me because they like what they see, they like what they hear, or they don't buy me, and they don't buy me now. It's only delayed. It's just delayed. It's never denied, right? So that's how I. So I'm always selling. And then so I'm selling myself first. So then it makes it easier for me to sell my service and my product. So for example, yesterday, somebody reached out to me on Instagram and said, Michelle, is it okay if we can have a conversation about me doing some work out in Dubai? They're a tech company. So I said, fine. And we got on the call, and she said that she's been following me for the last 2.5 years, 3 years. She said that she's been coming to my free masterclasses and any free training that I do. She's been absorbing that and taking full advantage of my FAQs on how to get speaking engagements in Dubai, all of that. And so I said, so why now? And she said, because I didn't delay in, it's not that I didn't want to work with you before. I just wanted to see if you were the real deal. And for her, the way that she tests that is through time. And she said, now is the time. So I said, so are you willing to pay whatever it costs to work with me? And she said, yeah, because you know why? You have proven time and time again that you can do the work that you say you can do. And now we're working together. It's taken 2 years, but that's selling. Sometimes you can sell instantly. Sometimes it's just delayed selling. But I'm selling all the time. And so
Wow.
for me is if I have a product or service that I know is going to make a profound difference to your life, I'm going to tell you about it. People come
Brilliant.
to me who want to work with me and I can't help them because what I offer is quite niche and I don't want to take your money and try and work it out. I want to know that I can do it and my team can do it. And so I say no to those people and then I will pass them on to somebody else who I think could do a better job.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So here's my next line of question. Or not a question, it's an observation. It's for someone who's watching us right now. Look at that. It took the person 2 years to reach out to you. And in the course of that 2 years, they didn't comment,
No.
they didn't repost you, they didn't reshare you, but they were observing. So there's someone watching us right now because they didn't get a comment in their last post. They didn't get a repost in their last post. They stopped posting. So when the time for the opportunity came, they were no longer available. Can you speak to consistency in building a personal brand?
Consistency is everything. People will buy consistency. I'm telling you, I when I started in this journey, there was a number of us. We all started together, and I can see by the wayside other people who've dropped off, new people have come. There was a group of us, and someone said to me, Michelle, you have, stood the test of time. I said, yeah, I'm still here. I'm hanging on, but I'm still here, and so for me, that is a reminder you have to create better habits, and that makes consistency easier. So I have a habit of doing certain things every day. Like we wake up every day, we brush our teeth every day. It's got to be second nature. So the reason why I can easily post on social media every day and don't get overwhelmed, because it's a habit for me now. So when I hear that people say, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I'm posting too much, I don't know what to say, it hasn't become a lifestyle for them. They're still seeing it as a task. I do not see showing up on social media as a task. I see it as part and parcel of who I am. So consistency becomes easy. So I would always advise other people and encourage everyone to make it part of your daily routine. Just like you'll wake up, pray, brush your teeth, shower and get on with your day. If you make it as part and parcel of your everyday living, it doesn't overwhelm you and it doesn't become tiresome. You don't run out of things to say, because if you don't have anything to say, repost somebody else's. You're still showing.
Come on now.
Repost.
I like
And
that.
sometimes we get so in ourselves like, oh my God, what shall I write? I've got nothing clever to say. But sometimes we don't have to have the words. Other people have the words. We can repost. We can give an impression, give a perspective on what that person has said. We don't always have to be in the limelight. And I do a lot of reposting other people's, or I will share other people's content because the content's good, And B, I want to give props to other people as well. And C, who knows, it may turn around and they may want to repost mine. They may and may not, it doesn't matter. But at least it's another way of me being consistent by showing up. And it has done a world of good for my brand. A world of good. And I remember somebody said to me, "Oh, Michelle, every time I open my LinkedIn, you're just there. You're just always in my face." And I said, that is not what I want to do. And he was saying it
I
out
like
of
that.
frustration. And I said, but that means
Yeah.
I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job.
Very, very good. What are some of the personal branding mistakes you look up here and go like, oh my God, this is gonna cost you a lot?
Let me
What are
tell
some of
you,
those
I'll tell
mistakes?
you what it is. And
Yeah.
someone called me up for it, and I've never done it since. I do not get involved, and this is a Jamaican word, in pasa pasa, which is drama. I don't like drama. So what happens, I see when people fall out with people, or I see when there's some sort of drama happening in entrepreneurial space, people want to get involved and then they rant. You can get involved like bit by giving a perspective on something that is current, which is topical, which is fine. Give your perspective, but there's a difference between perspective and just ranting for ranting's sake, and that can really impact your personal brand, especially if you've fallen out with somebody and you take it onto social media. It can definitely impact your brand. So I try and stay away from all of that. I know there's people that I've fallen out with, and I just really want to just shame them up, but I just don't do it. I just don't do it. And one time I did rant about something, I can't remember what it was, and a friend of mine, and I do really thank this person that they felt confident enough to come to me to it. They said, "Michelle, you put up a post and you were ranting about something." And he said, "This is not part of your personal brand. I've never seen you rant so much about this thing. It's not like you." And he said, "As a friend, I would love you to remove it because I don't want it in." And I removed it. And I humbled myself and I removed it. And so it's things like that you have to be careful of. And something else is things that can be openly. So I like to push the boundaries. Yeah, I like to be a little bit controversial, not too much, but a little bit controversial. So you just need to know your own boundaries. Don't go too far to the left. And it's things like that you have to be really mindful of in terms of your personal brand.
I'm sure this has been a very fascinating conversation. Let me just ask you some fire round questions. All right.
Yes.
What's your favorite book, podcast, or YouTube video that you've seen in the last 90 days that made you go like,
Ooh, okay. Do you know, I saw a recent podcast. It was out here and it's called Aurora Sky Pool Podcast. It's actually hosted by QB Springer, and she basically interviews celebrities on top of an infinity pool in one of the highest hotels in Dubai. It's absolutely beautiful. And the reason why I love that particular podcast is she was talking to women we're all the same age, you know, the wrong side of 40. And we're talking about how do we maintain our personal brand when we're almost 50, and talking about how do we manage that and motherhood and a businesswoman. And I really loved what these two women were talking about. So that is a recent podcast that I listened to, which for me was really profound. Yeah.
great. If you had to do it all over again, what's the one skill you will work on first to accelerate your progress?
But my courageousness. People look at me now and they think, "Oh my God, Michelle, you're so fearless," and you're no, I am so anti-risk. I have to push myself every day. Every day. It doesn't come naturally to me at all. So if I had to do this again, do you know what I would do? It's my daughter. Let me just put it into context. My daughter is fearless. Absolutely fearless. She is courageous and she is faith driven. So faith driven. And I look at my daughter and what she's accomplished, and her stepping out by faith and applying for a job out in Dubai and booked a one-way ticket out here. That's faith. That's faith. And I'm just still in awe. I say to God every day, give me a little bit more of the faith that you gave Ashad. I
Right,
have.
yeah, wow.
So if I had to start again, I want to be more courageous. I want to be more, take more risk. I wish I did that, and I wish I was that type of person. That's what I would do differently. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll ask you two more questions and then we'll call this a wrap. Guys, if you're enjoying this, please click on the subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on Spotify, click on the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, click on the plus sign, which is the follow button. I'm going to drop Michelle's social media handles later so that you guys can check her out. What's the one thing that you bought that is less than £100 and it's so effective in your life? It makes your life so easy.
Listen, 800. I was looking at my watch.
Yes, no, less than £100, but it's
Less
so
than 100
effective.
pounds. Ooh.
Yes.
And it's so effective. Oh my God, Paul, these questions. What have I bought? Less than 100 quid. And it's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've got anything. I'm looking around. Oh, I do have something.
Yeah, tell me.
I have a suit. I have a suit. I haven't bought it recently. I've got a suit and it cost me less than £100. But let me tell you, every time I wear that suit, I stop traffic. It costs me, and it's very effective. Do you know why? When I wear it to, even if I just wear the jacket, the blazer, or just the bottoms, when I wear it to networking events, I stand out head and shoulders because everybody goes to networking events and they wear the same type of colors. But because this is bright, I stand out, so I attract. That is one of my best buys, and I wear it. I try not to wear it too often, but when I wear it, I stop traffic. People just gravitate to me. The best buy, the most effective buy, under 100 quid.
Wow. Yeah, this has been a fascinating conversation. Thank God we had it. I really, really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
So I would also ask my guy. I think this guy is a very good friend of yours as well. Emmanuel Asuku. I've interviewed him on the podcast as well.
Eman,
It's
yes.
like your brother's very good friend of yours. So if there's somebody you could recommend to the podcast and say, Paul, you need to chat with this person, what would that person be?
Oh, I've got quite a few people actually. Oh, if I had to choose somebody, I'm going to choose somebody from, Paul. I've got so many good people.
Tell me about it.
people. Oh my God, I have so many good people. But there is somebody who I think's been very special, and has been special to me. She's such a prayer warrior, and her name is Sonia Marie. She is a beautiful hearted person, and she's such a go-getter. She is on fire. So if you had to, Sonia Maria Palmer, if you had to interview anyone, she is one. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, write a comment, share this. If you live in London on the 27th of March, I'm doing my first sales training in London called How to Set and Achieve Your Goals, your sales goals. I just worked with a company recently. One of their salesperson did $50 million in sales. Ooh. Yeah, so I do sales training all over the world. Yeah, so this is a physical training. Everything's going to be in the show notes. Check it out. And I'll talk to you soon. So, Misha, just hang on a little bit so that it uploads very, very well. I'll stop the recording now. And then you can just leave your laptop on while that is going on.
Okay,
But
yeah.